Hi, welcome to the garden. Julia is a bit on the sleepy side today, so she's probably gonna go to sleep. I sat earlier to do this, and I kind of got the same message twice, and I just sort of let it sit. I pulled from the Faerys Oracle, and the first, let me start with the first pair that came out. We had Luthus the Wild come out, along with the Sylvanius. And Luthus basically is one of those just always, steps on the gas pedal. Wants to go faster, 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 faster. It's that energy of fire, which can be, what lights the way or burns the building down. It can go either way. And it's a card that is known to energize whatever card it comes out with. The card it came out with here was the Sylvanius. And this is about seeing past the mask and looking at a truth that may not be as readily visible as usual. My dog is already snoring. So if you hear little growling noise, that's Julia. She's like literally curled in my lap here. Okay. All right. So that was talking about a need to find certain truth, and it can apply to like an internal truth, something about yourself that you haven't acknowledged. Did not go in to see like, is this something positive, or is this a, wow, maybe you've been tricking yourself and that's been your stumbling block, or do you have a strength that you've been saying, no, that's my strength and that's what's going to help you. Did not explore that way. So I kind of pulled again because if you saw yesterday's video, like I did go a little political on that, and I really didn't want to go political on today. So I was like, is that political? So I tried pulling again, and I got Himself, which is a really beautiful card in this deck because it talks a lot about, even as the masculine, there's a creative force. When we think of the male body, it may not be able to give birth, but to a child, but it can, whatever gender you are, you can create and give birth to many, many things. Artistically, architecturally, a book, all kinds of stuff. A really cool dish from whatever you've got in the fridge to have a nice meal with. And it is also another card that energizes and gives energy to the card that it comes out with. The card that came out with it is the Singer of Intuition, which is listening to the internal truths within you. Trusting your intuition in the face of whatever information is being externally presented to you. Listening to those nudges inside you that say, wait, but wasn't it this way, that way before? How come this thing doesn't quite add up with that? And when I was thinking about this during the day, one of the things that came through, because like I said, I didn't want to go political on it. And we don't need to go there. And what came out was, I'm going to hold these up because somebody wants to see these again. These are pretty cool. I know it kind of looks like Jesus with antlers. Let's just be real about it, okay? But this is a gorgeous, gorgeous card. So we'll just hold this one up while we listen to my dog snore and me talk. And I think I bumped the camera so it's crooked. Oh God, bear with me. These are totally informal. I stopped attempting to do regular readings that were like structured and what you'd expect to see on YouTube. And I was like, I'm just going to do the readings the way I do them for myself. So this is what you're getting is what I would do for myself. And we can share in it together. And you're absolutely encouraged to bring any of your own thoughts, intuition to things. If what I say doesn't resonate, but you see something in the card, take what your, intuition, guides you to. And in the pauses when I'm trying to find the next word, listen to yourself and your own inner voice. I encourage you to do that in my videos. But what had come out was, even though we're looking at a certain attribute of, okay, there's a need to put energy into trusting your intuition. There is an energy that is abundant to help you find the truth that's hidden behind a mask. Now that can be taken so many ways. You know, when I had said, I don't want this to be political. Well, yeah, I live in the United States and read all the executive orders, especially that one for TikTok. And I can, you know, see that there's something behind the mask there. If I want to look at it that way, I can do it that way. I was supposed to hold this card up for you. I'm sorry. And someone's asking for this one too. Okay, so these two cards. But you can also look at it in that sense of you're exploring something inside of yourself that's been hidden to you. And that it can also be taken into a relationship. You know, somebody's behaving a certain way all of the time, especially if it's early beginnings of a relationship. But there's like this one thing that kind of catches you and you're like, is that their real attitude? Is that what they really are like? Because a lot of times we'll meet people and in the beginning, they're very good at being presenting in a way that would seem like they're really going to be caring and thinking about you and considerate. And then you kind of catch little glimpses. So there was something in like applying that to various areas. Look for the little glimpses of something, because that little glimpse that you catch is of something that is so huge. And there's an enormous amount of power for you in that. So that's what came with these. And those I pulled earlier. We're going to move on. I will try to hold up the card before I start talking so I can try to start time stamping these. That way, you know, if a message comes out and you're like, yeah, then just wait until some more cards come. Because I think we are going to, even though I'm a slow reader, just kind of rapid fire. I think that's a really bad word to use, I guess. But quickly pull things, and I'm being told to slow down because that's the way I'm supposed to do stuff, is slow. But yeah, I will try to hold up the cards. Like the name Kimberly was coming through, and I'm thinking the Kim Kranz deck, but it felt like it was just a barrage of small messages wanted to come through. And I don't know if that's necessarily what I'm supposed to bring in through this reading. I pretty much just set the intention for the highest good of all, and then like to try and keep my ego out of the mess, and that doesn't really happen. But I do allow in my readings a certain amount of me as a human being being here, so that, you know, it's one, like if you go back and look at my other readings that I did before, I was like, oh the heck, I'm just going to do it the way I do it for myself. It's like there's this sort of, you know, almost that sense of pretending, but even though it's not, but you feel like you have to be a little more formal about it and show that you do have competence and skill and this is your gift. And I just want to like sit back and say, like, we're all learning. None of us are more advanced than anyone else. Everyone has equal connection to spirit, whether they're conscious of it or not. I don't really go into the whole, like, some people are like awakened and others aren't. I'm like, you are who you are and you're where you are, and that's where you're meant to be. So being where you're meant to be and being on the part of the journey that you're in right now, where you're supposed to be on your journey, and you can't compare that as to further ahead or further behind than anyone else, because you're exactly where you're supposed to be in your journey. So let's just all hang out exactly where we are. So there we go. I don't know why I had to say all of that stuff. Let's see what this is. Oh, I do like the saying in the bottom of the box of this. I did talk about, I don't really set too many intentions, but generally this is kind of a gist of what I do. And in the box inside it says, I set the intention that whatever is gained from the lessons learned from this tool will be dedicated to the growth of all beings in all places. Essentially the higher good of all. It is the Angels and Ancestors Pocket Oracle. Bit of a hijack other people's history deck. We're not going to go there. I'm not going to say much. It's a good deck. So we do have, first off, a feather. Guardian Angel, you're not alone. I'm being told to just move quickly. These are almost like pulling charms right now is what we're doing. So what is the next message that needs to come through for somebody? Animal Guardian, which is saying trust your instincts. And for some of you, you may have one. I'm being told you have the wisdom. It's right there. You have it in the top of your mind. You just need to trust yourself. Okay. For some of you, just hanging out. If you have a pet, just spend some time with your pet. Go walk the dog, something like that. And it's just, it's there. It's just floating at the top of your head, waiting for you to say, I am going to allow this thought to process through my full self, and I am going to accept it and act upon it. Okay. All right, next one for someone, please. The Shaman, which is trust in higher forces. Again, there is a wisdom above. Is there a message that I need to convey on this or not? I'm asking my guides. For some of you who are concerned, like I said, I do like to keep the political out, but it's important to remember that no matter who the leader or what structure or authority may be around you, whether in government, in positions of at work, in family structures, the message that's coming through is understand that Spirit sees all. And it may tie back to you are not alone. So if you are concerned that a certain behavior is something that only you can see and it's an uncomfortable one for you, know that Spirit is aware of that person doing that. I'm going to move on from that one quickly. Okay, let's move on. What does someone need to know here? Okay, I was going to hold the cards out first, right, so I could timestamp these. What else is there anything else? I don't know if there's anything else we need from here. This will be the last card out. So we have the Knight here, to be brave and to be honest. And this is with yourself. And to be brave enough to look at your surroundings, look at the situations you're in, and let yourself really bring your intuition in to perhaps have a different perspective on them and be more secure in your own inner wisdom and less reliant on others to tell you what is and what isn't in front of you. You have your own eyes. And at the bottom of the deck, we do have the Mirror Guardian. And this is just reflecting back to, this is, what is the saying on this one? Take time to reflect. So there's a sense of, reflecting on where you've been, what you've learned, the experiences you've had and what they've taught you, and not letting others insist that you reflect who they are and what they believe and what they think. You are your own, you can, when you look in the mirror, be your own reflection, not the reflection of who you're being taught to be or influenced to be, or scrolling through social media says this is who you should be, so you try to look that way in the mirror or present your way in that. Look at you. Just be you, okay? You don't need to reflect what others are saying you should look like. Okay. I believe we are done, and it did split here again. a reminder. Some of you might find a feather. I did actually find a feather yesterday, so I'm kind of curious about this, but it's you are not alone. So even if you think you're being incredibly individual by breaking from other people's, you know, influences, you'll be surprised. For some of you, the message is you'll be surprised how many people are just like you. And whether that's the feel the same way, has the same interest, even though your immediate and current surroundings doesn't seem like the people around you would be interested in that, you may have not noticed that there's actually somebody there that has the same interest, and people may be more interested in you as yourself. So those, I'm going to put that deck away. My eyes were drawn to the Past Life Oracle, but I don't really do well with that deck. Somehow there's not much of a connection that I have with it. It is peeking out, so sometimes I will pull cards and I will not have a message for you. It is up to you to find the message in that card and decide whether or not there is a message in that card for you. This deck I don't connect well with, and I often don't get messages that come through for me, but we're going to pull just the same because it feels like there is a whole bunch of different things that need to come through. So what do we need to come through first? So this up here. And we do have the Love Life card. I am using a front-facing camera so I can see the card. At the bottom of the deck is Communal Living. I feel like we have a deeper message, and this is like a pretty specific one. It has something to do, what else do we need to know? Is it in this deck that we need to know it? Lessons and Blessings is in there. Time. I mean, that's what I'm getting, is like someone is considering moving in with, it may not necessarily be a romantic partner, but someone is considering moving in with someone. Okay, what else is there to be known on that one, please? Is there another card to be known on that? This is something that'll happen later, this card. Medicine Woman or Medicine Man. It's the feathers again. Okay. I feel like we need to pull from a tarot. What else do we need to know in this situation? All right, we're going to go to the Light Seers. There's a little bit more to this message. What else is there to know about this potentially moving in with someone, it sounds like? I don't like to do predictives, so what we need to know is something to contemplate and consider, but to still allow the person their own free will and choice. Thank you. Okay, we did have that card that came out was the Ten of Pentacles, and what I got in my head was some of you may be considering moving in with family. And I think that might be representative of the communal, or you might actually have a partner that would be moving in with you and your family. So it's just representing that. There's a possibility, consider how joyous that may or may not be. For some of you, I'm getting a strong sense of there's a very supportive energy in it. So if you resonate with that supportive energy, it may be a confirmation for that. Okay, can we get more clarification, not to tell them what to do, but to offer up information to help them make their own decisions, please? Thank you. Okay, we do have the Four of Cups at the bottom. So some of you may choose to look away from the opportunity. Okay, I'm being corrected to also say some of you may think that you need to continually be on your own, or given that we have the Ten of Pentacles here, it feels like, is it time to walk away from the rainbow or time to go back to it? There's something in there. Just take it as it resonates. Do not force it to fit. And please do not take these as set outcomes. They're contemplations for you to think about. As I flip over the page of Swords, to think about, to study and learn more and get some more information. So yeah, this might be like, you know, kind of make a pros and cons list, gather a little bit more information, you know. And we also have with this the Knight of Swords, which could be rushing through with the mind and not allowing the heart into the equation. So you might want to, well, I think the suggestion would be more of, with these two cards coming out together, generally the suggestion would be, hey, like slow it down a little bit, gather up the information. Are you rushing too quickly into this? We did have, at the very beginning of the reading, I can't pronounce these card names, Luthus the Wild. And I talked about like just steps on the gas pedal, full throttle, all the way, fast, fast, fast. So it's like, have you looked really inside your soul for how you feel about this? And that's not to say it's a don't do it or do it. It's just to slow down, you know, get in touch with the emotional part of you. And the more aware you are of something and how you truly feel about it, the more realistic you can expect your emotions and your emotional reactions to be in the situation, so that things do work out easier. So it's always general good advice, right? Okay, are we putting these in? I have the deck upside down. So that's everything to come through that. And I don't really feel like there's anything else from the Past Life Oracle. I'm gonna just stack these away. I thought it was thunder, and I'm like, why? What's thunder? It's an airplane flying somewhere in the background. Okay, we're like 21 minutes in right now. Does somebody want a card from the holographic Alice in Wonderland deck? Just for the fun of it? Somebody wants a little bit of fun. Okay, let me pack these away. In the meantime, you can always think of what you want to think about. See how, oh gosh. Me and the attempt to open boxes. Alright, putting things back in its place is a little bit of a message there. This is the Alice in Wonderland deck that I have. She has quite an attitude. So let's see what Alice might want to say right now. Anything from Alice? You want to tuck yourself back in there? You're feeling shy. Alice is feeling shy. Why is she feeling shy? And it came out with, this is a holographic deck. I love shiny things. So it's really going to be impossible to get a good view on this. And this is the card number 32. Belong to your own dream. Create your own life. And it was a hesitant, it was a shy card. So there's like a hesitation to really feel like, can I like open my eyes and actually live my dream? Or do I just have to quietly keep it to myself and just close my eyes and imagine it? So what else from Alice do we want on that? Okay, this one wants to come out. This was actually at the bottom of the deck and I wasn't going to take it. So let's see what it is. It's card number 30. Law is not justice. Rules that are not fair. Okay, and this is totally not coming across political. This is actually a very personal message that's coming in. And that is the rules that you're holding you to, you know, yourself to. There's that, you know, would you really want to hold other people to the same rules that you hold yourself to? Because sometimes we set far more restrictions upon ourselves in allowing us to be free to be who we are than we would ever imagine imposing on others. And that's in a lot of the talk that we tell ourselves. It's like, oh, I wouldn't be as good, but yeah, I mean, that person over there can go do it. She's great at it. Or, you know, he'll totally be successful at that. But I mean, who am I to, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm going to see what else Alice has to say. And I warn you, Alice can sometimes get bitchy. All right. she's actually being kind of sweet to you in her own way. The first card that came out is 34, impossible things, working through disbelief, imaginative leaps, and fresh perspectives. It's not an impossible dream, right? And then the other card that came out is 45, it says impossible things, and then this one is such a curious dream, grounding, returning to reality, coming home. And it's like, yeah, it's just saying, you know, impossible just means you haven't worked out the details on how to make it happen. But once you work those details out and you've got a grounded plan, then you can move forward with that dream that seems impossible. I don't normally get too woo-woo with my readings or anything. I kind of feel like we have to live a human existence, so you'll notice my readings, I focus a lot on just how to live as human beings. Okay, so where are we going to go from here? 26 minutes, 12 seconds. All right. I'm going to drink my coffee before it gets cold. Where are we going from here? I'm going to pause this because I got to find out like what deck we're supposed to go to next. We're not done yet. Okay, I am still figuring out what deck needs to come next because there are more messages. But there's a kind of like a cloud over here. I did pull though. I just cut the deck to see if there was something in the Faerys Oracle. And we got like Nelise the Alchemist, and this really talks about, you know, this is an energy that comes along when the alchemy that's happening is within the soul, and it talks about the internal alchemy, you know, the lead of disbeliefs, false beliefs, self-doubts, and so forth, and the various ways that we deny our own intuition and connection to a higher power, those things being melted down and transformed into like a spirit, on a spirit level, that's sort of like golden light, that golden link that we can find where the divine does come within us and supports and strengthens us in our own confidence, not in an arrogance or any kind of way like that, because when that golden light of you know, the Creator comes in and gives us confidence, that confidence also comes with compassion for others. And I'm specifically being instructed to say it this way, that the confidence comes with a compassion for others. And that's a sort of spiritual alchemy. Confidence with the arrogance that you're better than others, that's I would say the opposite of spiritual alchemy. But confidence that comes with a compassion for others, you know, confident in yourself, compassionate to yourself, of course, absolutely, not martyring yourself or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that. But when you feel more even proud of yourself, but not egotistically, you know, there's a certain balance. That's why it's such a rare and precious metal. Okay, so that wanted to come through. And I know I'm not sure if it needs to go in another reading. Does it? We had a lot of messages here. I'm gonna close my eyes, and I am reaching over the basket, and my left hand is the one that feels for the energy. Okay, I'm going to do this. I think it's the Shamans Oracle. simply because it was on my mind. I thought I was going to use this deck as the clarifier for the fairies, and that was not the case. I think we'll just get a couple closing cards. Messages for the highest good. Help those to feel confirmed in their own intuitions. Yeah, how about we do that? Confirmations in their own intuitions. Cards that would help confirm whoever is watching this, their own intuition. Help them to feel more confirmed in what their intuition is telling them. We're going to do these two cards first. We do have card 31 in the hand. The universe is your partner. And that we were just talking about the golden light of spirit. That's so cool. So now the other one is, I'm gonna hold this up. It's a tidy house, clarity, and organization. And when you talk about putting things back in their proper place, when I was like putting some cards and stuff away before I switched to a new deck, this looks so pretty. I like this card, but for some reason, the way I'm seeing it in the camera view, as I'm holding it for you, it's like it looks so different and beautiful, and it really looks like it's lit up. The lights seem like they're finally lit up for real. It's not like a painting, those are real lights inside. So there's something about, again, this golden light. Okay, that's it. It is a real light. It really is the golden light in you. If you're doubting that that light is within you, it really is. It is. I'm going to probably, I think, yeah, we're going to end it there. Those were just a couple of cards to help for those who needed a little confirmation on whatever your intuition was. And I'm being tempted to open it. And yeah, Skybridge, it's sort of like it's in reverse. So it's like end communication is what I'm being told on that one. Thank you for hanging out in the garden. I'm going to try to do these like every day, and they're very different. They're pretty relaxed and casual. I kind of like let you into my own little space here where I would do readings for me, and I do, of course, encourage everybody, bring your own intuition. This reading was really about bringing your own intuition, but anytime you catch my readings, especially the ones when, you stop seeing me like try and do a spread or something. That's not my thing. Those readings were good, but like, they're just not me. And so I think a lot of this reading today was talking about you letting yourself be you. So thank you for joining me in this reading, and hopefully you'll come back to the garden and hang out with me some other time.